Hey up, this week we're going to be looking at one of the more weird and wonderful bits of Yorkshire history, giant Denby Dale pies and the Denby Dale pie festivals. So I chose this topic after reminiscing about my grandparents recently, and I remembered that after they'd passed away and the family was clearing the house out, we came across a box of Denby Dale pie merchandise that got a bit of a laugh from everyone, and in there was mugs, badges, guidebooks, and all sorts of stuff. And sadly it all got sold or given away, but it was that memory that led me to today's topic, so here we go. Denby Dale itself is a rural village in West Yorkshire that lies almost equidistant between Barnsley, Huddersfield and Wakefield. Historically it was known as Denby Dyke, but that changed post-industrial revolution to its present name Denby Dale, and like many places in Yorkshire, the name itself hints at a Viking connection, with it believed to mean farmstead of the Danes. The village has had a long connection to agriculture and the textile industry, and also saw a lot of growth in the Industrial Revolution through factories springing up and mining in the local area. It's a place, for me, with a family connection. My great-grandparents lived there and they ran a pub in Denby Dale. My grandma spent a lot of time there growing up and told me a lot of stories about characters that had passed through the village, stay in the pub, en route to bigger towns nearby. Anyway, on to the main topic of today. One unusual thing Denby Dale is famous for is its massive pies and the Denby Dale pie festivals that have been hosted over the centuries. So the story goes that in 1788, to celebrate King George III's recovery from a bout of madness, the village got together and cooked a ginormous pie. And from there, the locals clearly got quite a kick from this, and between 1788 and 2000, 9 mega pies were made in the village. So to name a few in chronological order, a giant pie was made in 1815 to mark the end of the Napoleonic Wars, and then again in 1846 to celebrate the repeal of the Corn Laws, which was something that I had to look up, but it effectively was a set of laws around restricting the import of grain into the UK, and it must have been a cause for celebration at the time, because that was enough to cook another mega pie. The next one was to mark Queen Victoria's Jubilee in 1887. However, that was a bit of a disaster when the mega pie in question was left out in the sun too long and spoilt, and it had to be buried, meaning that a second pie, which was nicknamed the Resurrection Pie, had to be made at the last minute as a backup. Other notable pies include the 1964 pie, marking a year of 4 royal births, and then the 1988 pie, which I think is the one my grandparents would have witnessed and perhaps even got to taste, which was simply to mark the 200th anniversary of Denby Dale Uber pies. The last proper Denby Dale pie festival was in the year 2000 to mark the millennium, and it was a massive 40-foot long pie weighing approximately 12 tonnes. Local legend Dickie Bird attended the occasion and very stylishly made the first cut into the pie with what else but a longsword. So it's been over 20 years since the last Giga Pie, but the legacy lives on in the form of the Denby Dale Pie Hall that to this day houses a number of pie-related artefacts and even has the tray from the 1964 pie in the car park, which is so big that they now use it as a flower bed. And in the Denby Dale Pies company that still makes and sells pies, albeit ones smaller than a flatbed lorry. So I thought it would be appropriate to round out the video with a poem from famous Barnsley poet and Yorkshire laureate Ian McMillan. This one is called the Denby Dale Piem, as in pie poem, and it was written in 2012 to mark the village's proud pie history. So without further ado, here's Ian McMillan's Denby Dale Piem. It's pleasing to the nose and delightful to the eye. Wait till you taste that Denby Dale pie. It's a symphony of crust, taties, gravy and meat. A Denby Dale pie makes your life complete. There've been making pies in Denby Dale for centuries and more. They're as Yorkshire as puddings and as good strong ale. You can smell them through cottage door. They've been eating pies in Denby Dale since King George were a youth. Each massive pie could tell a tale or a slice of historical truth. And the pie maker's art is once more close to this town's heart. So all those in favour, stand and bellow aye, then have a taste of that there Denby Dale pie.